Hey y'all. I hope that y'all can hear me. Let me make sure everything's turned up. Happy Wednesday. So we have someone who joined. Hello. So this is my first time popping up on here this month. So happy March. I know I'm a little late. Hey, how you doing? And my apologies. I intended to have a live video before now. However, I don't know if you guys can tell, like my voice is a little different. You know, just slightly congested. And last week I wanted to get on live, but I just could not. It's like in between coughing and clearing my throat, it was just not going to happen. And I am praying that I will be able to get through this video without having to clear my throat, without having a coughing fit, you know. But nothing to worry about. It's just sinuses, me eating things I should not be eating, and it catching up with me. So, and also the first week of March, I was out of town. So I was going to make up that video last week, but like I said, it did not happen. But here we are now, and I didn't want to do anything that was too strenuous. I just wanted to ease back into everything, which is why tonight's video is a Q&A. So whatever questions you have, you can leave it in the comments, or you can submit it to the question box. And let me see. So the question box it looks like a little message with a question mark. So that's where you can submit your questions. So we're just going to wait to see who else is going to pop up tonight. And I hope you guys have been doing well. As always, I have been doing wonderful. And I have not been on here since the beginning of the month. So, since I guess you could say the end of last month. So I did not announce to you guys that my new website is officially up. So masterpieceswriting.com is live. It is up. And I am super duper excited, because every single live I was getting on here saying the website is coming. The website is almost done. So I am so happy to say that it is finished. It is done. And I am super duper proud of it. Yes, I did do it myself. And it took a lot of work. But I'm going to talk a little bit about that process tomorrow on Pick My Brains. So make sure that you're following me on @MasterpiecesWriting on Instagram if you want to hear more about the website and why I decided to change it up and how did I make my decisions. Hey, we have someone else who joined. So again, if you are someone who is a business owner or you have a personal brand, you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, whatever it is that you do and you feel as if it's time for you to either update your website or to create a new one, tune in tomorrow again on @MasterpiecesWriting and make sure you check out Pick My Brain. And I'm going to share some tips to help you guys with your website to make sure that it's not costing you money and that it's making you money. Hey, how are you doing? I love that we can now like comments in the live. Like even when you're watching the live, you can like comments. And they made it easier to reply to people too because it was so crazy sometimes like trying to go back and get people's handles exactly right. But I love the updates that they are making. So keep it up, Instagram. I love it. So like I mentioned to everyone before, if you have a question for me, make sure that you leave it in the comments or you put it in the question box. And again, it looks like a little message bubble with a question mark. So I am going to go ahead and get started with the questions that I already have. So the first question that I have, what inspired you to start doing live videos? Well, what inspired me to start doing live videos was just my personal journey. I had reached a point to where it's like, okay, what you're going through isn't just for you anymore. It needs to be shared with others. And I just was like, all right, you have to get over yourself. Because I really was someone who hid a lot. And I've mentioned this before. Like, I love staying in the background, And of course, like, I would encounter people and have these moments where I would be able to share my story, my perspective, my insight. But I was like, that's still not enough. Like, that's playing it safe. Because oftentimes those people will come to me. So I decided to get over myself to get on live. And the first live I did, I kind of cheated. It was Halloween, so I was in costume. So that was like my first chance to get out there. And I didn't get serious about showing up on camera until last year. So really, I've been a year in with doing lives. I did YouTube in between because, like I said, I wanted to ease into it. I wasn't all the way ready to be out there, but it has been very therapeutic. I'm happy I decided to start doing live videos, and even just being able to interact with people one on one. Like, I absolutely love this. And now it's becoming second nature to where, like, I don't have to think too much about what it is I'm going to say. It just comes naturally. So, I have a question here. What genre do you like the most in your writing? Hmm. That one's a tough one. Because I do a mixture. Thank you. I appreciate your comment. Hmm. I really do think it will probably be nonfiction. Because even though I do like to come up with a lot of fictional ideas, wherever I'm able to release the most is whenever it's nonfiction, when it's something personal, when it's something from my own experiences, or either I'm writing about something that I'm observing. So I really do like the real life perspective, being someone who's sharing their experiences or either looking at it through the lens of someone else. Like, I absolutely love that. I have multiple journals. Some are going to be put in a book form pretty soon. But of course, I mentioned to you guys before that I am working on a self help book, which started out as more of a memoir, but it's like, nah, because people don't just want to hear your story just to hear it. It's like, nah, I really want to help people get to where I am. So I prefer nonfiction. And like I mentioned, self help, anything that's going to help people reflect, anything that's going to help people grow, to see themselves differently, to see the world differently. So I absolutely love it. Tips on writing business letters of inquiries. Hmm. So with the business letter, the main thing is to have it structured the correct way. The difference between something that's a business letter and a regular personal letter is that it's more formal. So one thing, know the person of contact, know exactly who you're talking to. And even if you don't know that person, figure out what their title is. That way you can personalize it more and it does not seem like you just have something floating around. Because even though so whom it may concern is like, okay, it's an option, but it should be your last option. It shouldn't be the first option. So try to at least find a title if you cannot find a name, and also be very specific with your request. However, try not to be too wordy, so make sure that you're writing concisely, saying what you need to say, and using less words to say it. So making sure that the words that you're using are very strong words. It is communicating what it is that you're requesting very clearly, and making sure that you don't overthink it, because sometimes you feel it's like you have to be like super, super, super duper professional, but it's like you don't, you know. Just make sure that your message is clear, it's concise, and also don't fear that it has to be lengthy, because some people do believe that a business letter should be long. It doesn't have to be. It could be 3 paragraphs with like 3 sentences each, and you're done. It does not have to be long, and making sure that you have a good introduction, a solid body, and a good closing. And that's pretty much it. Like, very, very simple. Is not anything that you need to fear, not anything that you need to overthink, and make sure that you proofread. Proofread. Now while you don't have to put a whole bunch of fancy words in it, make sure that the words that you use are spelled correctly, that they're used correctly. So make sure that you go through it, that you review it, and that isn't anything that you write. Make sure you proofread it. And of course, you do have to allow for human error because sometimes it happens, but make sure that you have the least amount of errors as possible. Someone else joined. Hello. So if you wanted to ask me a question, you could just leave a comment or you can send them a question to the question box. So I'm going to go back to one of the questions that I have here. So, what things should I look for when searching for a good therapist? This one is a really good one because when I first started out, I was just looking through what was made available to me through my insurance. And I was just, going through it blindly, like hoping I would come across someone who was not only black, but someone who was a black woman. That was very important to me, to have someone who looked like me that I could talk to. So if that's something that's important to you, like pinpoint what it is that you're looking for. Who would you feel most comfortable with? Who would you want to share your experiences with? Like, if you wanted someone from a different race, different gender, different background, that's fine too. If your religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs are important, look for someone who can meet those needs, because there are some who will incorporate your beliefs into the therapy. Also, if it's very important that the person is comfortable talking about race, things that are important to you. If you're someone who's having family issues, make sure you seek out a family therapist, someone who can help you navigate those relationships. If you're a couple looking for relationship advice, make sure you seek someone out who's very specific in that area, someone who can help you pinpoint the areas that you need assistance with. Someone else joined. Hello. So just making sure that you are very specific about what it is that you're looking for, the type of help that you need. Yes, definitely. And also making sure that you're open to trial and error, because it's almost like whenever you're trying out friends or trying out a new relationship, oftentimes you still don't know if the person's going to work with you. But just be open to it and don't take it personally if they don't. Just know that's not the person for you. And be encouraged to get back out there. Be encouraged to get back out there, find someone who really does meet your needs. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals from other people. I know, especially within the Black community, that's one thing that we do not want to do. We don't want to let other people know that we're in therapy. We don't even let them know that we're looking for a therapist. But that is something that I share openly. I do not mind telling people about it, and I encourage everyone to go. Sure. So, are you talking about the website for Masterpieces Writing? Just to make sure we're clear. Yeah, so just make sure that you outline everything that you're looking for, and you just have to put yourself out there and go looking for the right people. All right, got you. So, I'm just going to link the website. That way, it'll be easier for you to find. So of course it's not going to automatically pop up while I'm on live, because that would have made it go so much faster. But it's okay. And again, like I told you guys with the letter, I'm proofreading now to make sure that it is up there correctly. And I am going to pin it just in case anyone else wanted to see it. All right. So while we wait for more questions, in the question box, I'm just going to continue on. So the next question, what's your relationship status? So I tell people that I am single, but I'm taken. And I don't want you guys thinking that it's a situationship or something crazy like that. It's not at all. However, what I will say, even though this might sound very cliche, is that when you know, you know. And I've been talking to you guys for the past year about the breakup that I went through at the end of 2020 and the journey and coming out of that. And oftentimes you realize that it's you who's the person who self sabotages, and you were where you needed to be at the right time that you needed to be there. However, when you come into a situation with a lot of trauma, with a lot of old baggage, with a lot of old negative perceptions about yourself, about the world, like, it can definitely get in the way. And one thing that I definitely will say is being in therapy, again, has helped me work through all of that. So, again, I know who is for me. And in knowing that, it's like I can patiently wait, until we reach that point to where it's like, okay, so now I can say I'm officially off the market, but like I tell people, I am single, but I'm taken, meaning I'm not dating, I'm not looking, so that's just what it is. And I do encourage a lot of people, don't feel as if there's like this ugly little thing that's hanging over your head just because you're single. Technically, even if you're dating someone, you're single. You're not married, and I really do want us to grow more comfortable with embracing our singleness instead of seeing it as something that's the plague or something that's negative, something that's ugly, something that tarnishes us, because that's where you get free. And I did not realize that, because before I was entering a relationship thinking that I had worked through everything that I needed to work through, thinking I had already reached my freedom, not realizing, I didn't do my work before getting into the relationship, which is why all these issues came up. So make sure that you embrace your singleness. And that's actually a video that I want to do in the future. If not this month, definitely in the next coming months. To just talk about my single journey and what it really means, to be single, to really reach a sense of freedom, not just from a person, but from yourself. Because we hold ourselves in this mental prison, this emotional prison, a lot of times, and that keeps us trapped and it keeps us shut off from really experiencing the world the way that we are meant to experience it. So again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being single. And also, if you're single and you're not interested in dating anybody, that is fine too. Because I've gotten that a lot of times. People be like, "Oh, well, why won't you do this? Or why would you?" No, that's not where I am. Like, no, I'm not. Mm-mm. And I want you all to also know that you can feel loved without having an official title. And I'm not saying be somebody's side chick, be in a situationship. I'm not talking about that. But you don't need to be a wife to be loved. You don't need to be a girlfriend to be loved. Like, you can just be loved whole as you are, and start with a friendship. You know, cherish your friendship that you have with people, and not just romantically. That's something I talked about in my last video. Just finding community, like finding your people, people who can embrace you, people who can encourage you. Like being single is not all bad. It's not. Rushing to not be single, that's where the problems come in. So embrace your singleness. It is beautiful, trust me. And like I said, like I really do plan on sharing more about that with you guys. And I have to get back used to there being more sunlight this time of day. Even though I absolutely love daylight savings time, I keep forgetting that the sunlight casts a shadow and then it's like little specks of light on my face. And I had the box out to put my ring light together so I wouldn't have to deal with that. And I was going to change the angle that I was going to shoot, but I didn't get a chance to do it today. So forgive me, guys. And hopefully it's not that bad because I know some of my videos last year, it looked horrible. And it's like, oh God. And it was like this dark shadow. Like, oh, it really creeped me out. So I'm hoping that it does not get to that extent this year. So hopefully I'll get my ring light so I won't have to deal with this. So I have two more questions here. So again, if you guys have more questions, submit them in the comments or in the question box. So what's something you've learned about yourself over the past year? So for me, I think it's not necessarily what I've learned over the past year, but over the past few years. I've really learned that I'm much, much, much stronger than I thought I was. And I used to be the type of person who would run from things. I have a video talking about how I would retreat. And I never really faced things head on. And in that, you only allow things to build. So with that, you know, finally being face to face with the things that I feared most. And to a lot of people, they may not have even seemed like that big of a deal. But something as simple as driving, that was something that I avoided like the plague. Have you guys ever heard of the term arrested development? It's like I was trapped as a little girl. Like someone who was scared to grow up. Like even embracing being a woman, that was something that was difficult for me. It was fearful, because then the rest of the world has to see you as a woman. And I'm the youngest of my siblings. So being a baby, now everyone has to see the baby as a woman. And I don't think that I was comfortable enough to step into that. Even just being free, being independent, doing a lot of things on my own. I think I was afraid of that, even being in a relationship, which is why I self sabotaged my way out of it. Because then you have to be a grown up if you are in a relationship. So and being in all of those situations and being able to come face to face with the things that I feared most and saying that I'm still okay, to me that shows strength. Last year, when I was really like at my wits' end and I was really, really, really broken, really, really just hurt, and deciding to pick up the phone and call my therapist for the first time, you know, that is strength. Being able to pick up and keep going when it seems like you had every single reason to stop. And I've shared this with you guys before too, like my journey even to being an entrepreneur. Very non-traditional, very non-conventional. I did not sit down and plan out my business. It's like I had to because there were no other options. So being in situations like that and being able to be here and be like, I'm grateful for all of it. Like even at the time, like I was not. And I hated it and I did not want to be where I was, but it's like now I am so super, super, super duper grateful for all of that because I can sit here finally confident, finally secure in myself. And secure enough to where I can tell everyone all of my flaws and like still feel okay about myself, because even after I get off this live, it's like I'm gonna go eat dinner. And it's like not feeling like I have to carry around guilt or shame or wonder what people are gonna think whenever they see the things that I say, the things that I post. It's like I'm just free. Like I've just reached this level of independence. Like I told you, being trapped as a child, it's like even as an adult, like you do the things that you need to do, but the things that you have to do to move forward, to progress, to grow, it's like that's where my growth was stunted. So now being able to just show up confidently, boldly, and just fearlessly, it's like it feels really, really, really good. Yes, definitely. Yeah. And I encourage everyone, like, I hope that you guys think about this question yourself. Like, what's something you've learned about yourself? If not this past year, in the past few years, what's something you've learned about yourself? Especially since we've been in the pandemic for 2 years now. It's officially 2 years. So, what have you learned about yourself? And I really do think the pandemic, even though it wasn't all great, it was a blessing in disguise because that's when I was really forced to deal with myself, where it's like, okay, you can't continue on the way that you've been going on. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And guys, like, I honestly have so much more to share with you because what I've been sharing on here is just bits and pieces. But when you get the full story, you're going to be like, wow. And that's really what I want other people to do for themselves. Like to just get to this point where they could just be open, where they could just be free. And it's like it's nothing that they have to fear, nothing they have to feel ashamed about, nothing they have to feel guilty about. Because we're all flawed people. We are all trying to figure out this life and don't have the slightest clue as to how to do it. Like we're just feeling our way through, but when you're able to admit that and just stand firmly in that, it's like absolutely positively nothing can phase you, you know, because like what you're built for, what you're made for, what your purpose for. So I have one more question, and it is, what's next for you? Hmm. So I wish this one had a time frame as to what's next for me because I'm thinking about a lot of things, but I will stick with the near future. That's what I will do. So, and excuse me, guys, like, because I don't know if you guys can hear. So sometimes it's like I have to swallow, and sometimes I might have a little burp that's coming up. So it's like I'm trying to stifle it. Like I said, my system's trying to get back right, so just excuse me. Um, but what's next for me in the near future? So this month I am definitely finishing the manuscript for my book, and I will be announcing the title. But if you guys follow me, you should be able to guess what it is, because it's something that you guys have seen before. If you follow me on YouTube, you definitely should know what it is. And speaking of the book, I'm also going to be launching a blog related to it. So everything's going to be interconnected, and I have that page up, even though I don't have any content, but the Instagram page for the blog exists. So if you have gotten a follow from me or you followed me, then you know what the name of the book is going to be. But I still want to make the title announcement this big thing because it has the main title and a subtitle. And the subtitle is for everyone else. Title is for me, subtitle is for everyone else. So like I said, I'm definitely going to finish that this month. And I'm going to get the blog completed, and it's going to be officially launched next month. And for the book, I want that to come out for my birthday. And I had been going back and forth about when it should come out, but I felt the most at peace about it. And the bigger reason why, my birthday is on a Tuesday, and a lot of books come out on Tuesdays. I'm like, what's more perfect than that? And even though I did want it to come out before, like I mentioned to you guys before, it wasn't done. There were still a lot of things that I needed to experience, a lot of things that I needed to learn. So that's why I was not finished. But now I'm at a point to where I can push through, I can get it finished. And I cannot wait for you guys to see that. And even with the blog, because that's going to be like a little snippet of it, I cannot wait for you guys to really go deeper into my thoughts, because even though like we can talk one on one here, it's like in my writing, like that's when I am super, super, super duper transparent. very honest, and it's like, I hope that you guys see me, and I hope that you guys are able to see yourselves as well. So those are the two immediate things that are coming next. All the other things I'll say that for another video, but just be on the lookout for those two things. Blog is coming next month, and the book will be done this month, pushing for an August release date, August 9th. That's my birthday. And I'm going to be sure to keep you guys in the loop in the meantime, and make sure that you are signed up on my mailing list for Masterpieces Writing and Editing, LLC. You can go to the link in the bio to keep up with me, and I apologize to my mailing list fam. I've been taking a break from that as well. Just trying to recuperate, get myself back together. But I will get back on track with that. Just give me a minute, and I promise you guys it will be worth the wait. Because I always take care of my mailing list fam. And also, just follow me everywhere here on at She Writes Masterpieces, at Masterpieces Writing. You can follow me on Twitter at She Writes period. You can find me on Facebook. I have pages for Masterpieces Writing and Editing, as well as Confessions of a Good Girl YouTube channel, and you can find all of that in the link in bio. If you guys are interested in working with me one-on-one, make sure that you go and book a one-on-one session. And just like we're talking here, this is how I do with my clients. It's very personal. It's very informal. I just want you guys to feel super duper comfortable. And whatever it is that you're working toward, whether it's professional goals, business goals, personal goals, I want to help you meet them. So that's what accountability, goal setting. If you just want to pick my brain, like, I can help you with all of that. If you're interested in a new career, like, I can help you get ready for that as well. So just make sure, again, you go to the link in the bio. Make sure that you check out my new website, and make sure that you guys let me know what you think. Leave me a comment in the comment box, or you can DM me to let me know your thoughts, because like I told you guys, I worked on it myself. So I am open to constructive feedback as to how I can improve what it is that you like. So make sure that you share your thoughts. And also, if you guys, again, like I mentioned at the top of the video, if you guys want to know how to improve your website to where it won't cost you and it can make you money, make sure that you tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central for Pick My Brain. And I will share some tips, that are based on my mistakes, with my first website. And I will share the backstory, and hopefully you guys will be able to do better than I did. You won't be able to make the same mistakes. And even if you did, I hope that you will be able to correct them. So again, tune in tomorrow for Pick My Brain on at Masterpieces Writing. And let me see what time it is. So it is 6:28. So that you guys have any last questions for me before I get out of here? Gonna wait a while just to see if anyone has anything else that they wanted to ask. Make sure that I didn't overlook anything in the question box. And I thank you guys for participating. This is my first Q&A, and I think it went really well. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, just let me know, and I will do them more often. And even on the business side, I will definitely do them on Masterpieces Writing as well. But to add to what's next, as far as what I'm doing here on my live videos, like I mentioned to you guys last month, I do want to do more teaching, and I also want to do more panel discussions to where it's not just me here. Last year I did it with my family, so now I'm going to be reaching out to other people. Hopefully I can bring in some professionals to help you out, because like I said, I am not a licensed therapist. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just telling you what worked for me. However, I do want you guys to get like the professional side of everything, so to get the tips that I wouldn't be able to share, and to just help you guys see things in a different way. So it looks like those are all the questions that I have for tonight. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for being patient with me. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on at Masterpieces Writing for Pick My Brain. And I look forward to seeing you guys here in 2 weeks. So make sure that you have an amazing night, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.